today is our 3D kits, which look like these guys. So we have the Gnome Sweet Gnome, we have Welcome Friends, and we have the interchangeable truck door hanger. So we're going to talk about how we paint these little pieces, how we paint the pieces and glue them on, and we're going to talk about how to apply these magnets on the back. So I'm going to dry my board now and I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. So we have our board here that has been stained and dried. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the specific items that are provided in our 3D kits. So with our 3D kits, you will be receiving the cutouts. So for example, if you get the interchangeable seasonal truck cutout, you'll get your truck, you'll get welcome, and you'll get 4 of the cutouts of your choice. We have many options that are online. I just brought 3 over here. You are going to get some small paint brushes. You're going to get a big paintbrush for your board. Of course, you're going to get paint, and you'll get some glue for gluing the items on the board. And then if you get our gnome option or the truck option, you'll also be getting magnets. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to layer this board now with some white paint to kind of create that rustic antique look. So just going to grab a little paint, start somewhere in the middle and work out. Just real light strokes. I always say that we're tickling the board. Then I just kind of take big strokes, kind of move out with it. Start again, somewhere in the middle. Just kind of lightly brush out. And what's going to happen is that you're going to see a lot of this dark underneath when we've finished. So I'm just going to keep with that process. You can stop at whatever point that you feel is good. I like to put 3 layers or so on. Now you can see with these boards that we've done on the Glowforge, the first coat of paint will show up just a little bit yellow where the Glowforge has etched some areas. See how there's just a little bit of yellowing there? Now you may like that. A lot of my customers like that kind of look and they keep it. But what you can do to get rid of it is just keep adding some layers of paint and that will turn white. So I'm going to finish painting this now and we're going to tune back in so you can see what the board looks like finished. And what I would say is when you have put all the paint on that you need, go ahead and hair dry it again or let it sit for 10 minutes or so before you continue on with the process. I'm back. A couple of things I forgot to mention. First of all of these options have the ability to be hung as a door hanger. And we don't have it on these options, but we actually put little holes in there when you get the kit. And we supply some twine for you to weed through there, and you can cut and adjust as needed to make it a door hanger. So I just wanted to go over that with you. Second thing is to have a cup of water handy because we'll be needing to put our brushes into it. For example, I just used this brush. Letting paint dry on a brush is the ultimate brush killer. So go ahead and wash the brush at this point. We're going to be using little brushes to paint our cutouts. So when you're not using those, have that cup of water there handy and you can just set them in the water while you're not using them. So I wanted to let you know also that this is a damaged board. Your boards will look like this and not have these extra little lines in there. We had a little problem with our machine and this one was damaged, so I thought I would use that for a sample for you guys, but they will look just right for you. But this is kind of what a board looks like. I put about 3 to 4 layers, real light layers of white on there, real pretty with the feathered edges. You can still see that kind of etching. So that's kind of what your board will look like. So what we're going to talk about now is your cutouts. I am not going to paint the truck for the sake of discussion. Very straightforward, or the welcome. The only thing I will tell you about the welcome is really you don't need to worry about painting your sides. They're already dark. Just focus on painting the top. If you're doing light colors, for example, if you're going to paint this welcome white, be prepared to add 3 or 4 coats to get it a real crisp, bright white. Darker colors like reds, grays, greens go on really well with just 1, maybe 2 coats. So I'm going to take a little sample here just to show you a technique that's going to save you a lot of time. So we're going to use the sunflowers here, and I have a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to grab a decent sized brush here. So what I tell people, and what we have in your kit instructions, is if you're going to mostly do this whole piece yellow, go ahead and paint everything yellow, and then go back and fill in the details later. And I will show you. So I'm just doing a coat of yellow all over these flowers. I'm working pretty quickly because I'm doing this as a video. Feel free to just take your time and enjoy, but for the sake of the video, I'm moving pretty quickly. What I want to point out to you, and something we've learned because we've done a lot of these, is that you can still see your etching guideline marks even after you have painted a base color on there. So if you want to go in now, for example, and paint the middle brown, you can do that. And we're just basically cutting a step out by not having to do each little petal and each little area of detail a separate color the first time around. So we're using chalk paint, which is going to dry really quickly for you. So as soon as that dries and you want to get in there and do brown, you can. So in the event that you don't have a cup of water handy, as I don't, what I'd recommend for doing the areas of detail is to take a small brush, either dip it in your water, or you can take a wet wipe and get it really damp. If you get your brush damp before you do the small areas, you'll be able to have much more precision, and the paint will go exactly where you want it to go. So that's what I would say for the smaller areas. Just use light pressure and make sure that you have this moistened, your brush, and that paint will go just where you want it. So I just was doing a little bit of a sample here with these flowers, but what we're going to talk about next is gluing your pieces. So get a little bit of glue open. The glue is supplied with the kit, and you can just pour a little bit out onto a plate, or it's going to be in a little measuring cup for you, so you can just leave it in there. But we will do Mr. Welcome here. And so what I tell people to do is get everything where you want it on the board first. And when we're doing these cutouts, you want to look for your cutout that is the longest and make sure it still fits under the welcome. Because if we get this truck up too high, then all of your pieces aren't going to fit in here. And this board is still just a little wet, so just bear with me. But we'll pretend this is our painted welcome and our painted truck. We're going to set it where we want it. So a couple of options. You can either take a little pencil and just kind of mark where you're going to put your welcome, or you can just remember where it's going to be. But basically we're going to take it like this. We're going to take a brush. I just used this yellow one, so I will get some paint out of there. But we're going to just be dipping this brush in our glue pretty generously. And we're going to work fairly quickly here because we don't want this glue to dry before we get it on. So here I go. Brush, brush, brush. We don't have to get every single area. The glue that I give you dries clear, So rest assured, if you see some globs poking out, unless they are like enormous, they will dry clear and you won't see it. And you can always do some little touch-ups with paint later if you feel like you see any glue. Almost there. Get our E, do our little edge. Okay, wipe off a little glob. And then, boom. Now you have the opportunity, if you feel like, oh, I just set it down and it's not right, it's not dry yet, you can move it if you need to for a little bit. But when you feel like you've got it where you want it, kind of press it in a little bit. So just like that, give it about 10-20 minutes, let that glue dry, and you will be done with that part. So we're gonna be doing the same thing for the truck when you do your kit. I won't do it this, I'll just leave it sitting here for this example, because what we're gonna move to next is we're gonna talk about magnets. So you are supplied these handy dandy magnets, and what you wanna do is you wanna test them first. That's kind of a weak attraction. You want to find magnets that have a strong attraction. That's a pretty good attraction. So I'm going to leave that one there. That's a good attraction. So I like to put 2 magnets up here on our cutouts, and then 2 on the board, and 2 magnets on the cutouts. Test this for attraction. Yeah, that's not very good. It just depends on whether they will attract or repel. So make sure you go through, if you have 4 cutouts, find 2 magnets to put on here, and then 2 more for each one of your cutouts that attract to those magnets. So, for example, there's a lot of holes in this cutout. So I'm going to use that one to really place my magnets on the board. We don't really want our magnets to show very much, if possible. So I'm going to move them just a little bit until I get them where I want them. So then I will show you on another magnet that there is a white adhesive backing on these magnets that you peel off, and now they're sticky. So just for the sake of imagination, we'll move this magnet and put this magnet here. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Maybe, if I can get a hold of it. So that's basically what you're going to do. Let these guys stick on here for a little bit and dry before you start going and testing them and hanging them. That adhesive really needs to dry. But then you're going to go through, kind of match up those magnets, and then start placing them on the back. And really, you guys, that is about it for 3D kits. They're super easy. Magnets only apply, like I said, to the gnome option, to the truck option. Welcome Friends is just all about the glue. And like I said, it's got those holes at the top that you'll put the twine through. And these are just really fun projects to do as a family. We've had a lot of mothers and daughters in where the daughter will work on some pieces and mom will work on some other pieces. So hopefully you'll get these for a take-home kit and the whole family can kind of participate in it. I would say wait about a half an hour after you stick the magnets, after you glue on your items that are going to be glued on the board before you hang, just to make sure everything is dry. And if you are interested in how you order these, just get on our website, thepaintedchairfarmington.com/open-paint, and we have hundreds of different options to choose from, both regular wood signs, 3D signs, wood cutouts, and ceramics. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching our video, and we'll see you real soon.